yung unang balita, nung nalaman ko to, I was really nervous more than ever because I said, okay, baka gamitin ito as a way or as an excuse to finally get rid of the people in Gaza. Like I was really scared for the people in Gaza because I knew that looking at all of the patterns of happening between Israel and Palestine, I knew that Israel was trying to find a way to really take Gaza off and take complete control over it. So that was the first thing that I thought of. And then after that, I started reading more and more posts about how it could be a revolution. It could be the great resistance that we've been waiting for as Palestinian people. And I was like, you know what? This is hopefully the time that people will really know what is going on in Palestine. And I just kept thinking about before October 7, in 2023 alone, there were more than 200 people who were killed, and 40 of them were children. And yet people were still focusing on the attacks, the Hamas attacks, but they never really looked at the context. We're looking at years and years of context, but if they just wanted to go for 2023, those are the facts. We have 200, almost 250 people who were killed by the Israeli Defense Forces. And these were not only in Gaza, most of them were in the West Bank, and even children were being killed. So to me, I knew I was going to get a lot of questions from my friends. I knew that my posts were going to be targeted by people who were pro Israel or pro Zionist. And I was already prepared not to speak for my people. So that's why I became super serious on my social media.
Hamas went into Israel from Gaza, and all these people were killed. Over 1,000, almost 2,000 people. And as a Palestinian, as an outspoken Palestinian or Palestinian Filipino, you must have received a lot of comments, questions. I mean, even probably well-meaning questions and maybe well-meaning comments and feedback. And then, of course, there's a lot of emotion and anger. How did you typically respond and deal with these questions and comments?
That's a really great question, to be honest. A lot of people were asking me to condemn Hamas. Like, do you condemn Hamas? And I'm like, okay, I really feel like no one condones violence. Nobody wants bad things to happen to innocent people. But whenever the question condemning Hamas comes up, it's always like I'm validating my humanity. I'm always having to validate that I'm a human first and that I'm not like the others. Like, oh, not all Arabs are like that. Like, I don't think that I should always put myself in a position where kailangan maniwala kayo sa akin, mabuti akong tao, because that should have been the default. So that's one of the things that I had to deal with when I'm talking to certain people. A lot of people who had well-meaning questions, of course, they were asking why it happened, which is the perfect question to ask, right? Like, why did Hamas choose to do this attack? And then you get to talk about what's been going on from before October 7 all the way from 1948, because people kept going to the history, go back and back and back and back and back. If we even just look at recent years, you can tell, like, okay, oppressed people will try to fight one way or another. That's already a fact. It's for every action there will be a reaction, and that's how I typically respond to people who are asking about October 7 and who are asking about Hamas.